with Arlington Jones. Welcome to the show. I hope you enjoyed this episode. All right. Well, I'm really excited because today's special guest is Justin Lyons, the guitar slayer. He's worked with some of the top music artists in the industry. He's the lead guitarist with Machine Gun Kelly. He's toured the world with K-pop group Blackpink. He's worked with Lil Wayne, Tamala Man, and many other artists. He's a producer, a composer, and an entrepreneur. Man, thank you so much today for taking the time to come on with us today.
I am honored. to say the least. I'm so honored. Thank you for having me for sure.
Well, thank you,
Yeah.
man. Well, before we get into how we even met, because I think we need to share with everyone, I think we got a really good story of how we met. I really want to start kind of at the beginning.
Okay.
Um, Guitar. When did you start playing? How did you pick the guitar? How did that start?
Started at age, 5. I think everybody's story is maybe like starting at age 5, but mine was age 5 and grew up in church, cultivating church, very musical family. Also just the environment I was in, it was so musical, it was so church, a lot of
Okay.
church. And that's
Yes.
what started just to cultivate my playing, my ear, my style, everything, you
Okay.
know?
Okay. And how did you start? Did you have lessons with anyone, or did you just like? Cause church, I know sometimes you just get the guitar and they like figure it out.
Yeah. Well, my dad plays guitar,
Okay.
but I credit my mom a lot for teaching me.
Okay.
My mom would sit behind me. I talk about this in countless like different mediums, but my mom would sit behind me at the church and would hum to me what notes to play.
Mm,
And she told me this incredible lesson that I try to tell every musician. She taught me never take your eyes off the person directing
yeah.
and never take your eyes off the person that's singing the song.
Yes.
So that cultivated my eyes just being locked in,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's how I was able, even when me and you began to like play, like I was just locked in.
Yeah.
So my mom was a great influencer to my playing ability today.
Okay. I love that, man. That what you just said reminds me that those are good foundational tools that can go with you anywhere. Of just like I see it as knowing your role and knowing what your job like in a band or group setting. You have to know
Yeah,
what your role is and what you're supposed to do and where you need to lock in.
yes, sir.
So to me, even her telling you that that's a good thing.
Yes, sir. And we couldn't afford lessons
Yeah.
then. She
Okay.
took me
Okay.
to Brick Maze when Brick Maze used to be
Ah,
a thing.
yes.
And they was like $75 for 30 minutes.
Yes.
And my mom was like, I can't afford that.
Wow. Okay.
And,
Yes.
we were taught about faith and believing at a young age. So I never forget telling my mom, like, don't worry, I'll learn.
Yeah.
And just went from there.
Wow. That's amazing. That reminds me that the I remember the Brook Maze. It might have been the same location, but you born and raised Dallas?
Oak Cliff. Yes, sir.
Yes, Oak
Yes, sir.
Cliff, like
Yep.
like myself. I'm not born
All right.
in Dallas, but grew up in Oak Cliff.
Okay.
So it was probably the Brook Maze right off of Highway
Yes,
67.
sir. Yep. Rareberry.
Yes,
Yep.
Redbird. So people from Oak Cliff, I say Oak Cliff, Texas,
Yes,
even
sir.
though it's not technically a city,
Yeah.
but everybody would know what that means. So yes, a lot of musicians would be up there, Brook May. But I think that's amazing, man, Justin, that you yeah, it's like not to allow an obstacle um to stop you.
Yes,
Just
sir.
like I got it.
Yes,
I
sir.
got it.
Yes, sir.
That's really cool.
Yes, sir.
Really cool.
Yes, sir. I had a drive for it. Even then, that's why my mom took me there. She would see me with the broom and making, guitar or bass,
Yes.
gestures. So she
Yes.
knew that I had a love for it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
she bought you your first
She
guitar?
bought me my first guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, she bought me my first guitar from Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Wow.
yep, it was a white guitar and I was ecstatic about it.
Yeah.
And then she bought me my first electric from Brook Mays at age 11,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
still have it.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, prized
That
possession.
yeah, that's really cool. Really cool. Well, man, let's then I guess move forward to when we met. But I was gonna say before that, did you so were there other avenues once you got rolling in church? Were there other avenues that you had? Or no? Was that the
Yeah,
main?
no, I had my first recording with the choir at age 10,
Okay. Wow.
and that was a whole new world for me. And then I got connected with like Robert C. right now, maybe like
Okay.
age 13 or 14,
Okay. Okay.
to where I was able to like sit in certain studio sessions with them and
Yes.
like that was a lot at 13, 14 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
taking that in, like those things were helping me. But then when I got into like high school era, I knew I was good, but I didn't think music would be
Yeah.
what would be my bread and butter.
Okay.
And I just wanted to ball. I got accepted at Booker T to play
Yeah.
bass,
Okay.
but I wanted to play basketball instead.
Ah, okay.
So I didn't pursue music like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you went on and played basketball
Yeah, I
then.
played
Okay.
basketball. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So what high school did you go
I
to?
went to Life School.
Okay.
Then it was called Life Charter, but
Oh
now it's
yes.
called Life School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That is cool. I did not know that. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
I kept the
Yeah.
secret. And Joy Hill.
Okay. Joy. I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she used to be one of the praise and worship leaders at the Potter's House back in the
Okay.
day, but she was
Yes.
my choir teacher.
Really.
Yeah, and we just had an amazing relationship because I would be in there trying to play piano. That was my passionate
Yeah.
instrument,
Yeah.
piano.
Okay.
And she would always see me playing, but I never told her I played the bass
Yeah. Yeah.
until like 2 years later she found out like, why you never said anything?
Yeah.
Well, I was
Yeah.
taught to be humble, so I
Yeah.
never walked around boasting. Yeah, I play guitar.
Okay.
I just kept it to myself.
That's interesting because then
Yeah,
that goes into how we met and how well, my impression of you. But I was gonna say that you have spoke to mentioning Robert C. Wright, who's another amazing musician, producer, and everything. But
yes, sir.
enjoy that there are so many. For those of us that aren't from Dallas,
Mm,
there's so many talented people
yes, sir.
here and so many avenues, whether it be church or even beyond the church.
Yes, sir.
So that's really great. Well, now let's talk about then when we met. Well, you want to start the story and then I can, because I think we've talked about it a little bit off camera. I don't know that we've ever really, documented, but
Right.
I know a little. Some things you said I didn't remember, so I'll let you start and then I can interject my perspective.
Well, I was initially introduced to you by Marcus Roberts, who
Okay.
was a student of yours at Cedar Valley. But Marcus was one of those guys when I was like 15 and 16. He would come by my mom's house and pick me up and like take me to like certain gigs or something,
Okay.
or he would introduce me to like new music and all of
Okay.
this. So one of the records he introduced me to was yours.
Hmm.
And he was like, yo, you gotta hear him, but you gotta see him. I was like, cool. And that was like at 15, 16 though.
Hmm.
And then fast forward to what, 19, 20, going to Cedar Valley, and that name came up again. I was like, yo, wait a minute. That's the same guy Marcus used to. I didn't even know he was like, right. I didn't know you was a native of
Mm-hmm.
Dallas
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
I just thought you and knew in my head like you was this big world-renowned jazz piano that's not even like from here. That's probably like in Los Angeles because normally that's where everybody hears about everybody, New York or LA or something,
Right.
you know?
Right. Right.
So knowing that you was here in Dallas, I was like, yo, this is crazy. So all of my friends, Jeremy, Chadney, Caleb, all of those guys was like, man, you should be in keyboard ensemble. We in there killing it. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna get in. I didn't know the ramifications of it. And I went to you and said, hey, I want to be in keyboard ensemble. And you were like, well, it's kind of already closed. And I was like, well, I wanted to play bass.
Yeah.
And he's like, can you play? And I was like, I'm okay. I was like, I'm okay. And he was like, he was nice about it. I know you had to go. He was like, well, okay, let's go across the hall. It's a piano room right across.
Okay.
And let me hear you play. And so I hooked up the bass. You went and got what was Kirby?
Oh yes, Kirby Stewart, the
Yeah,
bass professor
yeah. Rest
and
in peace.
audio
Yeah,
engineer
yes, sir.
professor.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And you went and grabbed his bass for me to play really
I do
quick.
not remember any of that
Yeah.
part. Okay.
And I sat in the room and you was like, okay, let me hear you. And I started playing your record. And you was like, wait, I know that song. I said, that's my song. Then we just got lost in jamming. And it felt like I was jamming with one of my good friends. And the energy you was giving me back was like I'm jamming with one of my good friends.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. Because
Yeah.
one of my favorite players was Braylon, but I didn't know Braylon was the guy that you had also
Yeah.
used often. So it was
Worked
just
with, yes.
yeah, great.
That's so funny. Now I will say when I heard you play bass, I probably didn't say it then. But I was like, he sounds like Braylon Lacey, who
Mhm.
is another amazing
Yes,
Dallas bass player.
sir.
So let me just quickly give my perspective of what I was thinking.
Okay.
So you're correct. I was teaching professor at Cedar Valley College in Lancaster, Texas, which is just south of town, south of Oak Cliff
Mhm.
and south of Dallas. It was a beautiful time because I didn't realize that there were so many talented
Mhm.
young musicians were going to come through that program. So you mentioned Caleb McCampbell, Chadney Crystal, Jeremy Hairston. I'm saying their whole names because
Yep.
people can kind of look them
Right.
up
Right.
and then you'll see what they're doing
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, just so many great, and Marcus Roberts
Yep.
as well, who told you about the program. So my perspective is yes, we had this keyboard ensemble and it got very popular. It was all keyboards, and I had a rhythm section with bass, drums, and really that was it. And when it first started, it was only keyboards. We would
Mhm.
play, it was only like three of us, and I played with them because we didn't even have enough keyboards to go around. So we grabbed the piano, we had a Fender Rhodes in there,
Wow.
we'd grab whatever. So my perspective at the time was, I know I don't have a lot of equipment, and then they were giving me a budget to buy more keyboards and stuff, but I only had limited things. So I was like, I really gotta try to weed out if people are messing around
Yeah. For
and not
sure.
serious about it. So I know, and since if I said that it was closed, we might. I think we sounds like we had already done the auditions,
Mm.
so I'd already set in my mind what it was gonna be, and then you showed up. Now the part that I remember
Uh-oh.
is that you told me, because I did have that position of I was being real quick
Mhm.
and real firm because I was just like, I gotta be,
For sure.
I'm a nice guy. I
Right.
try to
For sure.
act like I'm a nice, well, I
You're
think I'm a
kind. You're
nice
very
guy.
kind. Yeah. For
Okay.
sure.
So, but I knew that I also have to be firm in
Yes,
certain
sir.
things. So I had that position. But you told me, he's like, I don't read, but if you play it one time, I got it. Now, of course, in my position, I've heard
Mhm.
people say all kind of stuff. So in my mind, I'm like, one time, really? For real? So I remember going to the piano and playing stuff purposely, really fast. Okay, try this progression, try this chord, and you played it. Everything I did. So then in my mind, I was like, he's for real. He he's not lying. He's for
Wow.
real. That had not happened before,
Um.
where somebody told me that, but they were
Right.
like, it
Yeah.
was the truth.
I understand.
So then it flipped because in my mind, I probably didn't show it. I'm smiling in my mind
Mm.
because I was like, he can really play. This is gonna work.
Nice.
Because I don't even know if well, we had I guess some bass players before that, but if we didn't have a bass player, we'd have
On
key
Keybase.
bass.
Yeah.
But I was like, we're gonna have a bass player for real. Um, so it
That's cool.
flipped for
Yeah.
me. So I might not have smiled. I might not have, but in my heart, I was smiling already because
That's
I was
cool.
like, this dude is for real. I played something one time, he got it.
I love that.
So of course you
Blessings.
were in the group.
Blessings.
Now I should say this, and
Okay.
I'll let you talk. I thought you were a bass player, that was your first instrument.
Mm.
Now it was a long time. I don't remember how long. It could have been multiple semesters. I don't know. I don't remember how long you were there.
Two, I
But
think.
okay. I went a very long time, and I was walking the halls and I heard somebody say, Justin plays guitar. And I was like, what? I came in, you played bass so well, and you did remind me of Braylon Lacey,
Mm-hmm.
which just facility, you could get all over the bass, you could play whatever.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes, I don't know if you remember this, I would use you, everybody had music and everything, but you just could commit everything to memory, like for real, for real.
I wish I
And
still
so
could.
there were times where I'd be like, hey, that's not right. Y'all not playing it right. Look, what's the music say? And I say, Justin, play it, and you play it, but that put pressure on everybody because it's like
Right.
he got it. We gotta be honest. But I would do that on purpose sometimes.
Man, I wish I still
Just,
had that sauce, man.
but that is really cool. The only other person that I know, we had a blind person. I don't know if he was in the
Nah, I don't recall.
um his first name was Al. I can't even remember his last name. Now, my other thing, we don't have to talk about this, but like what I've learned about musicians is that if, for instance, he could not see. That was just, how he yeah, he was totally blind. but his other
Mhm.
senses
Like,
became so strong.
mhm,
He's the only other person
mhm,
that made the group because he had that same type of memory
mhm,
recollection that you
mhm.
had, where I could just tell him one time and he got it.
Wow.
I had to do him a similar way because I was like, how's this gonna work? Is he gonna, but same thing, I play stuff. So I would just go to the piano, say, hey, this is what it is.
Wow.
I got it
Wow.
and never forget it.
Wow.
But you had that
Man,
same type of thing.
that was a
So yeah,
great
so
memory.
talk about the guitar where, well, I see you said you were humble
Right,
and
right,
that you
right.
were taught just stay low.
Yeah,
I was totally amazed and flabbergasted when when I came and asked you, you were like, "Well, guitar is my first instrument."
yeah.
That totally messed me up.
Yeah, still today, like it's my main instrument, but I have a really crazy love for bass. I'm able to think differently. I'm able to process differently. I'm able to look inside the shape of the note differently. So it just pulls another portion out of myself
Yeah,
that I don't even know because I'm always in guitar world. So once I get on that instrument, I commit to the bass,
yeah,
and vice versa.
yeah,
Because I've always heard guitarists hop on bass and they still sound like a guitar player,
right.
and I'd be like, yeah,
You never
no,
did to
yeah,
me.
no disrespect to anybody that's doing it, but for me, I wanted to master
Yeah,
the sound of it and the
yeah,
translation of it.
yes.
But you taught me a very incredible lesson, man, in that season of time that really sculpted my playing. I never forget you was like, "Hey, give me a solo." And I was big in studying like a lot of Victor Wooten and Jocko at the time, and I
Okay.
just started going crazy on my solo. And he was like, "What? Stop, stop, stop. What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm soloing." You was like, "Man, you gotta teach me your language. If I don't know your language, how can I speak to you?" He said, "So you have to do like, hello, my name is Jim. Hey, my name is Chris." Like you
Okay.
gave me the whole walk down of conversing with
Yeah,
your
the
instrument.
conversation got you.
And like that blew my mind. He was like, if I don't know French, teach me how to speak French.
Yeah,
Like in front of everybody. And it wasn't like a scorning or anything. It was like teaching us a valuable lesson of how to view music properly, other than let me just play a whole bunch of notes and show what I can do.
right.
So thank you for that. That
Okay.
to date, I carry that with me. Like people like, man, shred, give me some. I'm like, for what? It's not saying anything.
Yeah,
So so thank
yeah.
you for that.
Oh, well, that's cool. To
Man.
be honest, I don't even remember the instance, but what you described is definitely my philosophy.
Yes, sir.
So I'm sure that I know that that's, we know that's the approach. Yeah. So you mentioned the branding, and I
Yes,
know
sir.
you're known as the Guitar Slayer,
Yes,
which
sir.
I love that. But like, how did that come about?
The name actually came from Caleb.
Caleb McCampbell.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I had a band 2008 called Connect Four.
Yeah.
So I started just incorporating those entertainment qualities, and Caleb was like, "We're gonna name you Guitar Slayer,"
Okay. Okay.
and then it just kind of stuck with me.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
got product out and everything
yeah,
with Guitar
yeah,
Slayer on it.
yes, sir. Got product, been very intentful with the logo, what the logo looks like, all of
Yeah.
those things. Just trying to build a really nice umbrella
Yeah.
that could start to, foster the other guitarists that's coming out to me, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, your solo release is called Lost. And
Hmm.
then your most recent project is called Believe. And then that led to a collaboration with the Dallas Mavericks. And you produced a track for them that
Yes,
they
sir.
also used during the playoffs,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So tell us a little bit about how that helped.
So the Dallas Maverick came by way for me doing the national anthem for the Dallas Stars.
Okay.
They got me over there and I did the national anthem. It was great. And it was approaching playoffs.
Yes.
And they were like, "Hey man, we're just gonna go out on a limb and just kind of ask you this question. Like, you wouldn't happen to be able to like reproduce this Eminence front record, would you?
Yeah.
It's been the same for like 20 plus years. Nobody's ever touched it. And we want to know if you can add some sauce to it." I took it, and the version that they listen to now is a demo it wasn't even the version that I was gonna in my head end with.
Okay.
But I worked on it, and the guy came to the studio, and he heard me like working on it while he was there, and saw me like jumping on the beat machine, then pick up the guitar and pick up the bass. So him seeing that and sitting in the room and watching it was a really big plus. He took it to them. They kept it from Mark Cuban. They didn't tell them because they didn't want Mark Cuban to say, no, we're gonna save it and we're gonna just take the risk of doing it on game night.
And just played it.
And
Yeah.
just they played it. It was like, how cool would it be if he just played it live?
Okay.
And they was like, Justin, would you be open to that? I was like, hold
Right.
on,
Yeah.
let me check.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
like,
Right.
of
Right.
course,
Right.
duh.
Right.
So I ended up doing it, and it was crazy. Mark Cuban ended up being there. He wasn't even supposed to be
Oh
there.
wow.
And Mark Cuban was standing there and saw me walking that way, and he instantly stood in the aisle and was like, "Oh my gosh!"
It's Justin Lyons, aka GuitarSlayer, and he put on an absolute show before the start of the game. He did the anthem, but my favorite part, you reimagined Eminence Front by The Who that is used for introductions for years. Tell us a little bit about the idea for that.
Well, I just wanted to, pay homage to that beautiful record. I knew it was Mark Cuban's, favorite song. So to make it even more exciting for playoffs, Game 3, yeah, just reconstructing the entire project was really fun.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And the whole company just kind of went crazy with it.
Yeah.
And then everybody was loving it. Everything I do is no way to think that is a product of my doing. It's all God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm with you on that. But like I said, from my perspective, I was expecting it. And my wife and I, we talked a little bit, but it was funny because when I knew you were gonna be on there doing the national anthem, if I was around or whatever, I just flip it on so I could catch it. So we would watch you
Mm,
on there, and then it was just like I could see. I was like, it's just progressing.
yes,
He
sir.
doing more and more.
Yup.
He all the way there. Like, but what I know about you, I was like, he gonna maximize the opportunity, whatever
Yes,
it
sir.
is, and so it just made our hearts glad to watch
Man,
the progression
man.
of it. And so yeah, I thought that was just so beautiful.
Yeah, it was. It was humbling as well because right after the Dallas Mavericks, my team, they were trying to put together like a little PR run, so we
Okay.
could have really capitalized.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up getting like paralyzed, man,
Oh,
and for like a month and a half, and
okay.
I couldn't walk,
Yeah.
and I was bedridden, and dude, it was a mental trip for me
Yeah.
because I was like, God, how and why? Why now though? Like, I need this to like shift things for my life. Like, how did this happen?
Right.
And in that process, man, he just really dealt with me and just like, man, I had to rebuild spiritually. I had to rebuild physically. They told me it's gonna be 40 grand for surgery to do
Mm,
an emergency surgery. I was like, I can't have surgery because I got to get ready to go out on a show
right.
2 months from now. So what can I do?
Yeah.
They was giving me shots and injections. Nothing was helping. So I just had to eat different. I had to focus different. I had to go to physical therapy every day. It was hard.
Yeah.
Try to walk again, and it was
So
wild.
what happened? Was it an
It
injury
was
or
a
what?
herniated disc. It was
Okay.
I think it had a lot to do from me jumping off of those boxes.
Yeah.
As much as I was doing it
Yeah.
like the games ended up being like sometimes it'd be 3 times a week or 2 times a week versus, depending on the series.
Yeah.
And me jumping off of that stage, not wearing shock absorbent shoes,
I got
hard,
right.
I had
Your
on my
bubble
performance.
department.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
the constant weight, and I was still going to the gym in the mornings to stay fit.
Mm-hmm.
It just got to me.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew we had talked briefly, and we were
Yeah.
praying for you because I immediately in this world that we're in, it's like there's no time for being hurt.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Yes,
It's like
sir.
this stuff gotta happen. I gotta be in Germany or
Yes.
wherever.
Yes, sir.
So we were praying as well. So I'm glad that yeah, you were able to get past that
Yes, sir.
and be healthy,
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
everything. And I know that Machine Gun Kelly's the tour and everything y'all do is high energy as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, jumping off things,
Yes,
different things
sir.
like that. Just briefly, I'd like to jump back
Okay.
of how did you get into that?
With Machine Gun Kelly?
Yeah.
So in 2019, I did Blackpink and Lil Wayne at the same time.
Okay.
Not many knew that. It was like when I would come back from Korea, they have uh a bus or something waiting for me to transport me to where Lil Wayne is performing so I can hop on stage with him. So
Yeah.
trying to learn two shows, two different energies, I learned a lot. But in me playing for Lil Wayne, Blink 182 was also on that tour with us.
Okay.
And then Travis Barker, who's the drummer for Blink 182, me and him just like became close.
Yeah.
You know, he took a liking to me. And towards the tail end of COVID, just randomly, he calls me and was like, "Hey, what you doing?" And I was in Houston with Warren Campbell,
Okay.
and I was producing for the Walls Group.
Yeah.
And I was like, actually working on some gospel music. And he was like, "You want to do a little tour for me? I got a buddy that needs a guitarist." And you were the first person I thought of. I was
Hmm.
like, "Yeah, sure. Who is it?" He was like, "Machine Gun Kelly." I was like, "Cool. Yeah, I'll do it."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so he made the phone call, he set it up. Yeah, and started that journey with those guys.
That's cool. Well, like I said, I know we've said it, but it screams the power of the recommendation. But I
Mm,
can't drive that home enough. 'Cause even with the things that I do, and it actually makes my heart, um I'm so happy to make a recommendation.
uh,
I love to be able to throw somebody's name out, but at the same time, I don't throw everybody's name out.
you can't.
If I throw somebody's name out, the person that I'm giving it to knows Arlington said call him.
Yes, sir.
So we know what that
Yes,
means, but
sir.
I can't drive that home. Is there been, you're a wonderful testament of being that person, that type of most talented and just your person. You've always been just a great human being
Blessing.
from the first time that I've met you. And so I know that it's not hard for people to, be like, oh yeah, you got to call Justin,
Yeah.
but to me that's really important for people to hear, because sometimes if you only concentrate on your music and don't address those other things,
Yeah,
it
for
might
sure.
not work out the
For
same way.
sure. It's still a dog eat dog. You know, not everybody wants to recommend you. Not everybody, supports what you do. You know, we all have dealt with those things, but God places me exactly where he needs me
Yeah.
every time. So
Yeah.
I'm not everywhere. I'm
Yeah.
glad that I can uphold the call and make somebody's name still look good,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I've had the opposite happen to me in the
Hmm.
past, where I put somebody on and they almost cost me my gig.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah, it's not a good
how
feeling.
how could you, like,
Right. Right.
but you live and you learn,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah. And just being diligent and doing the work,
yeah,
showing up, understanding what that means, that you've been, you know, recommended and you go and take care of business.
right,
Like you said, where if you've been in a position where somebody didn't do that
right,
and you wonder if they understood, was like, it wasn't just you not taking care of the gig, it's a
yeah,
reflection on you
yes sir,
and affects you as well,
it
and
does,
your work and your business,
yes sir. But
so
that made me realize that something was missing.
hmm.
These cats just don't know.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm doing my due diligence. Like, my book is finished
Okay.
of like helping musicians prepare for tour and everything that they need to know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited to release those things so
Yeah.
that can no longer be an issue. Now
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know what it takes, you know what you need to and how you need to come prepare for this level of touring, because touring is not easy.
Right.
The
Right.
sacrificing of leaving your family and being gone for long periods of time, it's not
Yeah.
an easy bout. It's
Yeah.
not made for everybody.
Right. Right. What's the name of the book? Can you say that yet? Or it's okay if you can't.
Just a musician's tour guide,
Okay.
by
Okay.
Justin Lyons.
Yeah.
That's one of the books that I just completed.
Yeah.
And then I'm finishing up another book titled Honor Your Calling.
Okay.
Honor Your
Okay.
Calling.
I love it. I love it. So I would say, if that's okay, I don't think you mind us saying, but we've had the conversation, my wife and I, even with our nonprofit, the Music Stand, we're big on having these kind of conversations. So we've already kind of talked about the future of being able to have you come
Hmm.
and be able to share your book, be able to share your story, and to be able for us to have those conversations with
Hmm.
other professional musicians.
Hmm.
As I've said off camera, we're gonna work that out and get with you, have you come speak and be able to share and happy to know about your books and everything. And then you mentioned your studio, which I know you have. You can churn out music and do all kind of stuff, producing and all kind of
Yes, sir.
things. You have your own releases as well, as I mentioned.
Yes, sir.
And then I know that you just released a new song, Joy, a new
Yes.
release with your brother
Yes.
who plays bass.
Yes. Yes. It's Joy. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, my brother Danny Lyons, one of my oldest brothers. I have so much respect and love for him. So being in the studio with him and watching him trust me and seeing something come out of him, man, it was a blessing. I was able to be his first project.
Yeah.
So I was proud of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And I appreciate it. Yeah, you send it to me to check it out, and I really appreciate it. One, trusting me to even do that, but and wanting to even know wanting me to hear it, but I
Sure, of
really
course.
enjoyed it. And I should say, I know that is out everywhere that digital music is sold. All your records, Lost, Believe,
Mhm.
and everything that you do also
Yes, sir.
is available everywhere digital music is sold. And I really appreciate, because that's similar to what me and my wife do, is produce our own things. And it takes me into the last thing that I would like to ask you. This show is called The Way I Hear It.
Mhm.
And for me, it encompasses a lot of things, but I want to be a blessing to people. I know that God has called me and given me the music that He wants me to play, and that He'll send the people that need to hear it at the time they need to hear it, and they will get whatever they need to get
Yes, sir.
at that particular time, whether they see me live or they streaming it or whatever.
Yep.
They're doing it. And so that part of it, I don't question. But I want to ask you, how do you hear it?
Yeah, I hear it as God's voice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. It reminds me of the story in the Bible that I've always loved and looked to. But when David went to play for Saul,
Mm.
and I've always wondered, like, what did the music sound like? It doesn't say he sang. It could have been instrumental music. But what it did say was that when he played, it totally changed Saul's atmosphere
Mm-hmm.
for the better.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever spirits or anything that didn't need to be there had to leave
Mm-hmm.
just from the sound and the presence that David, and we know, like you said, it was God, it's God's voice.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, that's my mindset all the time,
Yes, sir.
wherever I am, wherever I play. So I'm with you on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man.
So I think that's powerful.
Yes, sir.
Well, man, thank you
Oh
so much,
man,
Justin.
come on,
The
man.
Guitar Slayer,
Come on,
Justin
man.
Lyons,
I
the
already
Guitar
know, man.
Slayer.
Arlington Jones. The Arlington Jones. No, thank you for having me. Thank you for considering me to even be on this platform with you. And I'm extremely honored. You've been so instrumental in my life, and I thank you. You'll hear me say it 100 more times until I'm no longer here. But you've been so instrumental in my life, in my walk, in my playing, in my expressions. Like I take you with me a lot of places. So when I am sending you records to listen to or something like that, it's because you and the family, y'all are always on my mind. So thank you for the impression that you've left with me.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Humbly, I don't even, but I appreciate that.
Yeah,
It really
for
means a
sure.
lot.
Yes, sir.
And I love you, bro. And
Yeah,
just
love you too.
all the great stuff you've done. I always say, I'm looking forward to the next thing. I know I'm gonna turn on the TV or turn on something, and there's the Guitar Slayer.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking forward to the next
No,
thing.
thank you
But
for the
thank you so
support.
much,
Thank you
man.
for your support. It means a lot.
All right.
Seriously.
All
Yeah.
right.